Taylor Walker from the Adelaide Crows, and you're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Shannon Hurn from the West Coast Eagles.
This is Nathan Jones from the Melbourne Football Club.
Phil Davis from the GWS Giants.
It's Brad Avery from the Port Adelaide Football Club, and you're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Merry Christmas to you. It is MJ from the Coaches Panel. Just days gone by now from Christmas. But really, if we're being truthfully honest, as a fantasy football coach, Christmas came early for us this year when Champion Data awarded one P. Dangerfield dual position status as a mid-forward. That was all the Christmases I needed this year. But just days left in the month of December, and in fact, in the entire year of 2018, really, for fantasy football coaches, pre-season, if it hasn't yet got underway, it's just days away from doing so. And all the possibilities, all the hope, that optimism that you can enter into a brand new fantasy football year, it begins once again. Perhaps this will be your year. And for 2019, 12 months off for our little hiatus, the Coaches Panel is back to help you with AFL Fantasy, Supercoach, Dream Team, your daily fantasies and your drafts of both keeper and seasonal leagues. And between now and March 21st, when round one gets underway, it is the usual game that everybody loves, the Tigers and the Blues. Between now and then, we're here to help you building your fantasy footy side, regardless of the format you play, to give you all the information you need to make good decisions. Because here at the Coaches Panel, we're not about telling you what to do per se, but the Coaches Panel is rather about giving you good information to make the decisions that are right for your side, whether it be the salary caps or the drafts, to be able to make an informed decision to help you make decisions about what you should or shouldn't be doing in your fantasy footy side. And from January 1st, everything commences once again for the Coaches Panel. The website is back. Daily articles are there. And the Coaches Panel podcasts commence regularly. And it all kicks off from January 1st as we relaunch my 50 Most Relevant series. Every day from January 1st and then the following 49 days, I'll count you down through who I believe in salary cap formats, all kind of universally combined. So Dream Team, Supercoach, AFL Fantasy. Look, I'll throw them all into the melting pot and will provide for you my subjective list, my opinion of who I think are the most relevant players for fantasy coaches to consider in 2019. But what makes a player relevant? Well, there are a number of factors, and it's not limited to, but it's things like a player's starting price. It's their scoring ceiling, even their scoring consistency is a factor. The new position they've gained or lost, even things such as the opportunities that may have become available in a side, may be a big thing. Something like the departure of a Lachie Neale. Does that increase the fantasy relevance of any other Fremantle player? These are just some of the sort of factors that go into place for making decisions about who I believe are the 50 most relevant players in fantasy footy this year. And so from January 1st, the daily articles at coachespanel.tv, they will be there for you to check out. No matter where and how you consume podcasts, there will be a daily podcast with me and another member of the Coaches Panel discussing that player. So you'll have plenty of content to get you through right at the start. And in fact, if you just like getting news a little bit early, couple of days early, if you join our Patreon at patreon.com/Coaches Panel, you'll get early access to every single podcast. So you'll actually know the players days ahead of anybody else. So if you want that early access and you want to be a part of supporting the Coaches Panel, we'd certainly appreciate it. You can do that at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coaches Panel. January 1, the countdown commences, starting at number 50. It's a guy, look, I'll give you a clue. It's a guy that if I was to say his name out loud, you would immediately laugh at me. And probably fair enough too. But when you look at the factors in play, and if all the variables, and there are plenty of them, But if all the variables tick off with this player, you have to start him. You have to start him in your side. Plain and simple as that, in my opinion. Who is it? January 1 at coachespanel.tv, the article lands. That same day, the podcast will land. And then for the following 49 days, you and I will go on a journey of discussing who I believe are the 50 most relevant players universally for the salary cap formats of the game. For those of you that love draft leagues, I'm not going to throw you out here. I'll even give you my keeper and seasonal draft rankings of where you should look to consider picking up this player. Because some of these guys for a salary cap are massively relevant, but maybe not so much for drafts on the return. Some are much more relevant for a keeper league, or even more relevant for a seasonal league. We're going to look at all of those things together every single day here at the Coaches Panel. I want to invite you and encourage you to join us on the journey this preseason as we hope to help you to your greatest fantasy football year results ever. The Coaches Panel back January 1, and we are so excited to have you on the journey.